Hello and welcome to the first episode of the KC podcast. I'm your host, Keenan Costain, and joining me today is one of my good friends of mine, Ryan Geraghty. Good to have you on the show, Ryan.
Thank you. It's an honor to be on the show.
So I just want to start off with a few things. What was your experience like at East Carolina since you went to college and for 4 years there? And what was that like for you?
It was good. I loved my time at East Carolina. I was there for 4 years. I was originally in a program that was intended to be 5 year program, and but I ended up getting out of there in 4 years. Probably one of the only kids to get out of that program in 4 years. It's not very often that somebody gets through that program in 4 years, but I ended up getting through it in 4 years.
And can you tell me the program again?
It was a STEP program.
Yeah.
It was a program for students with learning disabilities. And, but other than that, I mean, my experience at East Carolina was great. Had a lot of friends there, made some of my best friends there. Learned a lot about life. Fished a lot. Fished on the East Carolina fishing team. Traveled all around the country with a boat behind me, seen some cool things, fished some cool places. Just all around East Carolina was a great experience.
Yeah, that's great. And I bet there were so many events that you liked going to East Carolina for. Tell me a little bit more about that.
The football games were always my favorite part. Saturday mornings, you'd go out with your buddies on a Friday night before a good weekend for a football game. I mean, go out on a Friday night and then wake up in the morning, go down. I had a ritual where I'd go down to Bojangles and pick up a case of beer and get a biscuit.
Oh, yeah.
Stop at the liquor store.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then we'd go there, me and my roommate, go there, get us a biscuit, get us some beer for the day, and then go home, shower, and be at the tailgate lots by about 9 o'clock, 10 for a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah, and first, let me give a quick shout out to Ryan Wilverton for this awesome cover art page that he designed for me, and it's quite wonderful he was able to do that for me, and big shout out to him for helping me out. And so going forward, what type of sports do you like to watch? I hear that you're big into sports and really into them. So what type of sport do you like
to watch? Every sport, really. Baseball, football, NASCAR. Sitting here watching the NASCAR race in the background right now, but basketball, I like them all. They're just some I follow more than others. I follow baseball very, very intensely. Not really intensely, but very, very. I don't know the word. Just I follow it very intensively, I should say.
You're very focused.
Yeah, I'm very focused on baseball. I've been collecting baseball cards, football cards, all that since I was 10 years old. Yeah. So I watch a lot of football, baseball, basketball, hockey. I watch a lot of hockey right now because I think it's the best sport on TV.
Yeah, with the playoffs going on right now.
Yeah, with the playoffs going on right now, there's nothing like the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm gonna take a drink of this water real quick.
But
oh, excuse me. Hockey's on right now. It's actually the second round of the playoffs start tonight, so I'm going to watch a lot of that.
Yeah, and I heard that I keep hearing that you're a Boston fan, and you grew up in the Boston area.
I grew up in the Boston area. I moved down here 14 years ago. But I'm really a diehard Boston sports fan. Every sport, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, big Bruins, big Red Sox and Patriots fan.
Oh, yeah. We got Tom Brady back in the day, and he's with Tampa now.
Yeah, he's with Tampa now. I've seen some of Tom Brady's best games that he's ever played, surprisingly. I had season tickets back in the day when my dad had season tickets, not really myself. I was young, but I remember a lot of those games.
And for me, being here from North Carolina, I'm a Panthers fan, and so they have a pretty solid team as well. But we're getting back into better things, and hopefully we do better over the years and see what happens.
Yeah, they're on a big rebuilding year.
Yeah.
getting a new coach is kind of one of those things where there's gonna be a lot of getting used to.
Yeah, a new quarterback and Teddy
Yeah,
Bridgewater.
new quarterback Teddy Bridgewater. Cam Newton's in a new place.
Usually with New England, actually.
Yeah, he's actually in New England. Not a big fan of that, but it's one of those things where it's like we'll see what happens with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I actually wanted to ask you that. Actually, since you brought that up, the New England situation. What do you think about Cam going to New England?
I think I'm not a big fan. I've never really been a big fan of Cam, but I'm excited to see where the Patriots put Cam. I mean, we have three really good quarterbacks in Brian Hoyer, and then what's his name? Dang it, he was at Auburn. Jarrett Stidham, that's who it was. Jarrett Stidham, and then now we have Cam Newton. The thing about Cam Newton is he doesn't fit into the Patriots organization, like the style of play that the Patriots have. You always had a quarterback like Brady that liked to stay in the pocket and throw the ball. But
yeah, with Cam, he likes to use his feet a lot.
Cam likes to use his feet. So I'm interested to see where that goes. It's gonna be a lot of getting used to, not seeing Brady in a Patriots uniform, not seeing Brady under center. It's been the only quarterback I saw a lot of years of Drew Bledsoe. I think I saw 2 years of Drew Bledsoe, and then the rest of them were all Brady. But for those people, those fans that have only seen Brady under center, it's going to be weird for them.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a different change, and with everything going on, it's crazy to see. But follow up question here: have you played any sports over the years?
So I played when I was younger. I played a lot of football. I played a little bit of Little League baseball. So after Little League baseball, I really got sick of playing Little League baseball and started playing lacrosse. So I started playing lacrosse in the 4th grade, the year before I moved down here, and I really fell in love with playing lacrosse, and played lacrosse 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, and then I got around to 10th grade. Lacrosse was probably my best seasonal lacrosse that I had, and I played a lot. I played year-round lacrosse, and then like I say, I played football up until the 7th grade. I played football from the time I was 7 to the time I was in 7th grade. Quit football in the 7th grade to play lacrosse year-round, summer, fall, winter, spring. Played indoor ball in the winter, and then summer ball I played on a travel team, so I traveled the country playing lacrosse in front of college coaches and stuff like that. And once there's time came in my lacrosse career where it was like, you know what, I really don't want to play. I don't want to play lacrosse in college, so I went. I just couldn't see myself playing lacrosse in college. I had some conflict with my high school coach, and just couldn't see myself playing lacrosse in college. So I ended up quitting lacrosse in high school and just quit playing lacrosse all around.
Yeah. Do you think it would have been harder for you if you stuck with that plan with the college?
To play college lacrosse, I think it would have been very hard to juggle playing a Division I sport or Division II sport, maybe even Division III. It would have been really hard for me to juggle that schoolwork and trying to get in the weight room every day, trying to go to practice two times a day, and just like all of that on top of schoolwork, trying to get your schoolwork done. I probably couldn't have done it. I was just like, that time management's a lot. And sometimes time management wasn't my strong spot in college, but
yeah, it's difficult for everyone, especially with newer people coming in. That's what they gotta learn going forward is time management. And
right.
So, but yeah, that's really interesting. So I see on here that you like to fish. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me more. Tell me more. Like, what got you into fishing, or is there any inspiration or anyone inspired you to fish? Or
I've always liked to fish when I was younger. That's what when I was talking about lacrosse earlier. I basically quit lacrosse to fish full time. I've always liked to fish since I was knee high to a grasshopper, just young. Ever since I was little, I'd try and wake my dad up on Sunday mornings, Saturday mornings, and go and fish it literally anywhere that had water. I'd fish in the dang puddle on the side of the road if I could. But I'd really just go fish anywhere. And there are times where I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Didn't know what I was doing, where I'd be fishing with corn, 5 pieces of corn with a treble hook under a bobber, which isn't a very widely used method of fishing. Just throwing corn on a treble hook, but I kind of taught myself from the ground up. I had some people, when I moved down here, I started getting way more into fishing. And I had a buddy who asked me if I wanted to start fishing on the Riley's Catch team my sophomore year of high school. And I was like, you know what, I don't know much about fishing, but I didn't know I could even do this in tournaments, so I kind of made headway, and I was like, you know what, I'll do it. I fished my first tournament my sophomore year of high school on Lake Norman, and ended up getting second place. Qualified for no, we didn't qualify for nationals that year. But I ended up getting second place in my first ever tournament on Lake Norman, and other than that, since that day, me and my partner, my fishing partner, who's Colton Harrell.
Shout out to Colton if he's listening. So.
Yeah, shout out to Colton if he's listening. But we started just running through the high school fishing scene. There were only a couple tournaments in our fishing crew that we didn't finish first or second.
Which actually leads up to my next question, actually, about competition. Do you have any best fishing or best competition moments while fishing?
I have a couple. There's one thing about tournament bass fishing. It's when it's your time. When it's your time, it's your time, and you know when it's your time, because it's just like everything. All of those puzzle pieces just kind of come together, and they just fall right into place. Those are some of my favorite memories. But I've had a lot of memories of bass fishing where it's like I'm fishing in tournaments and even just fishing for fun, even just like out on a weekend where I'm out there and I'm just riding around, just fishing anything that I can. But my favorite tournament memory is we were fishing a tournament on Lake Norman. It was a really bad time of the year to be fishing Norman, and we were struggling. We had caught like 20 fish, and they were all too short to keep. And it was we were on Norman, and we were sitting there in the boat one day, and we were like, all right, you want to pull out and go to Wiley? And me and my buddy were like, yeah, let's do it. And the guy, our boat captain, who was Brandon Krasnowski, which if he's listening too, shout out to him. But Brandon Krasnowski, he said we're gonna have to make up some kind of excuse as to why we left. So it was so I called. We were sitting there thinking, this was before I called. We were sitting there thinking, and it's like, all right, we're gonna make up a story as to that you got sick and we've had to park the boat on the shore so you could go up and poop in the woods.
Oh man!
So I ended up calling my the guy who's the tournament director, the guy who ran our fishing club, and I said, man, I've my bears had to stop the boat twice, and I've had to go up, and I've gotten sick on the shoreline. I've pooped on the shoreline twice, and it's like I'm out of socks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like talking about how I had to wipe my butt with my socks, and I was like, man, I ran out of socks. So they're sitting there. I ended up leaving a voicemail. I was like, we're pulling out early. We had to park the boat twice, and had to go up and doo behind the bushes on the shoreline. And
yeah. Was that a true story?
this is a true story.
Oh,
100%. I could have 4 people call up right now and verify it. But yep. But it wasn't a true story that I was telling. I didn't get sick. It's kind of
Yeah, that part was the lie.
that part was the lie for
Yeah.
us to get out of the tournament and go and fish wild. We ended up getting out of there, put the boat on the trailer, and ended up going to Wiley. And we ended up going to Wiley and catching them 10 times as good as we did on Norman that day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's probably one of my fondest memories of fishing in high school, or tournament bass fishing. There have been a lot of times. Another good one is my not my last tournament, but the second to last tournament, the one that was 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, or 3 months ago on High Rock Lake. I caught a 4-pounder to put me in second place with 20 minutes left to go in the tournament. Had to run pretty fast back to the ramp and so I could make it in time, but ended up getting big fish that day and second place with 1 fish. So
Wow, that's quite a big one, and I bet you were really proud of that of getting the. Was there money involved?
yeah, there was money involved. Won some beer money. It wasn't much, but it's kind of like when you're making money fishing, you can't complain. You can't complain about much.
It's like you have a hobby, but yeah, you can make money off of it.
Exactly. Yeah, you can make money doing it.
Yeah, which yeah, that's quite a journey.
Yeah, it's taken me a lot of places.
Yeah, but do you still plan? Do you still plan to compete in fishing tournaments as you get older, or do you consider as a career?
100%. I do see myself fishing tournaments in the future. Whether I do it at a professional level, I don't know, but I definitely see myself competing in tournaments until heck maybe I turn 70 years old. If I'm still walking, I'm still going to be fishing.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not wearing diapers at 70 years old, and I'm not doo-dooing my britches 24/7, I'll be fishing. But maybe I might take a stab at the opens, try and qualify to fish professionally. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I still have a hell of a hobby to fall back on, and I can still fish tournaments, make money fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Just not at a professional level.
Yeah, but it's always good to have a backup plan if stuff doesn't work out. You know?
Yeah, it's always good to have a backup plan.
Yeah, but tell me more. I heard that you're interested in NASCAR too. You watch races from time to time, and
I try and watch almost every race that I can. Sometimes a lot on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Sundays I'm fishing a tournament or out there fishing, because sometimes Sundays are the only days I get to go and fish, depending on what I'm doing. So I take a day. I'll always listen to the race on my phone while I'm on the lake, but I try and watch as many races as I can. It's one of my favorite things to watch on TV. That's the only sport that I can take now.
Yeah, and who's your favorite driver to follow right now? Or
my favorite driver to follow has always been Jimmy Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Jimmy Johnson fan. My grandfather was a Jimmy Johnson fan, and he kind of instilled it in my head that I want to be a Jimmy Johnson fan too, just like my grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm a big Jimmy fan. I don't know what's going on with him right there.
yeah, but Yeah, but Jimmy's resume is absolutely incredible. 83 wins, 7 championships, tied for Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. That's quite a resume for sure.
Yes, sir.
Um, but any Jimmy Johnson moments that you like watching?
I like watching really all of his championships. Those are everybody likes to watch their favorite athletes championships.
Mhm.
I like watching just almost anything that Jimmy does.
Yeah, and keep hearing that he might do some part-time IndyCar racing in the future, most likely.
Yeah, I saw that he was racing an IndyCar. He was racing a Formula One car, and I forget where it was. It was an IndyCar somewhere last week, and I think it might have been at Indianapolis.
Hmm.
He was testing Indy cars, which if he does do some part-time Indy racing, that'd be interesting to watch.
Yeah, he's one of the most athletic drivers we have in NASCAR racing.
Yeah, he ran the Boston Marathon 2
Mhm.
years ago too. He is pretty athletic.
Yeah,
He does a lot of skiing and snowboarding and biking too, surprisingly.
yeah. So, what do you think of what do you think of Jimmy Johnson's full-time season?
This full-time season hasn't been the greatest season to be a Jimmy fan,
Mhm.
obviously. He hasn't won much recently, but it's his last year in the Cup Series.
Mhm.
It's just one of those things that, yeah, he's on to his next journey.
Hmm.
Never know what he could be doing.
Yeah, he's done so much, and he's won 7 championships with one crew chief only, and
Right.
he's still got a shot to do well and finish high in the points, and
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. But yeah, he follows other drivers too that's related to fishing as well,
Yep.
tell me more about some drivers that you recently came in contact with that is related to the fishing.
So it's always on the lake. 95% of the racing
Mhm.
industry lives in the Lake Norman, Mooresville area. I've come in contact with Denny Hamlin on the lake. I've
Mhm.
come in contact with Bubba Wallace, Ryan Blaney. I used to fish against a kid who actually had a year in the Cup Series. I know his name was Cole. He drove I think it was the
I think it was Cole Witt.
Yeah, Cole Witt. I
Yeah.
used to fish against Cole Witt back in the day. He used to fish Friday Nighters. Sponsored by, I think it was Arctic Coolers at the time.
Yeah, it was Speed, Arctic, I believe.
Yeah, it was Arctic Coolers he was sponsored by.
Yeah.
I've always fished at Ryan Newman's charity events when him and Brad Paisley used to have them. And I'll just tell you, it'd be nothing to be on the lake and roll up on one of the NASCAR drivers beached up on a sandbar, or hanging out at one of one of the sandbars, or hanging out at the restaurant on the lake.
Yeah, and you talk about these athletes that travel 36, 38 times a year, and yeah, they still find ways to keep them in the aspect outside of racing as well,
Right.
which is really, really important for them. But yeah, they love what they do, and they get paid to do racing and
Right.
charity events and other stuff like that. But that's really cool to hear. But to wrap this thing up a little bit, do you have any advice for anyone currently listening, and what would you say?
Just advice for anybody listening to this: find something you love to do and stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because man, one day you never know. You never know what something you could get paid for.
Yep.
If you want to invent something, stick with it and invent something. If you want to fish professionally, just stick with it. Just process. Everything's process. Graduating from college, finding a job, and in the fishing industry, you can't only make money fishing professionally. You could go get a job in the industry, working for a company, working for manufacturers, boat companies, all sorts of people. Just find something you love and do it till the day you die.
Yeah, That's pretty powerful words. Definitely find the stuff that you love and trying to do it the best you can. That's the
Right.
so.
You
But-
put in, you get out of it what you put into it.
Mhm.
That's one thing I've always realized. You get, you, like, what did I just say? I forget, man. I have bad short-term memory.
That's
but
all right. It's all right.
I said, you get out of it what you put into it. So if you put in 110%, you'll get out equal as
Mhm.
that. You'll get out of it the more you put into it.
Yeah, just keep digging.
Just keep digging.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But, well, Ryan, thanks for joining me today, and that's all the questions I have. I appreciate you coming on and helping me do this. I appreciate that.
Anytime. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.